I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and when I was 16 years old, my parents asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I had asked them to get me one of those $200 lightsabers that lights up and has the sound effects. Being the great parents that they are, they bought their 16-year-old son a $200 lightsaber. And I loved it, and I loved it so much that I would drag my friends over and we would make these lightsaber fight videos where we would just fight and I would add special effects in post-production. It's pretty embarrassing, but I want to show you a clip of one just so you can understand my obsession with Star Wars.
You want to test these out, see what happens? Damn it, dude, that hurt. Oh, you think that's funny? Yeah, laugh at this. Take it easy, you take it easy. You want to go? Stop. Come on, fine, go.
I think part of the reason why I made those videos is because I just wanted to be a Jedi so badly. I always thought it was the coolest thing to have these lightsabers and be able to use the Force. And there's just one scene in Star Wars where Obi-Wan Kenobi sits down and he closes the door. And I think to myself, like, yeah, if people could actually use the Force, that's what they would use it for. The simple, mundane tasks, it would just be so casual. So that's what I want to build today. Some sort of robotic something that allows me to wave my hand and open or close a door. I'll need some sort of way to recognize gestures and then some sort of way to open and close a door. So I have an idea, let's get started, and I'll explain to you what I'm doing as we go along. So this is what I'm thinking to open up the door. I have this metal wire connected to the top of the door and a pulley mounted to the ceiling. And when I pull it, it opens up the door. All we need is a motor to basically automate the wire being pulled. And I actually think we can use the motor from my golf bag video. We just have to remove it from the golf bag. Let's fucking go.
Hello there.
Now that we have this off, we have the motor here, which is pretty strong, but the real strength in the torque, which is what we're gonna need to open that door, is this gearbox, this 10-to-1 gearbox. I know that it's super strong, it has a ton of torque, and so we need to design and 3D print something that fits onto this shaft here that can hold the fishing wire, and then it'll just kind of coil up here. Sweet, so you can imagine some fishing wire on here and it just turns it, and that's the whole pulling force.
So the issue right now is that it's not winding up the wire fast enough.
The motor's spinning quickly, but because it has this 10-to-1 gearbox on it, every 10 times the motor spins, the gearbox here rotates once. So basically to rotate quickly, this thing needs to spin super fast because this is going at 1/10 the speed. And I think there's something we could change on this micro step driver that would allow us to maybe go faster because we would just have less steps. And a step is just like a little increment of the motor turning. Basically, I think we could just go faster. Yeah, so this was wrong. The micro step driver idea I had did not work. I don't even think what I said was accurate, but that's okay. It's just all part of the process.
3 days.
All right, so I tried to get the motor to spin faster, but I couldn't get it to spin faster. So what I ended up doing was just making the string that pulls the door open a lot shorter, because the motor can only spin so fast. It can only wind up so much string per second or string per minute. So I'm thinking that if the string is a lot shorter, it should open up at a decent speed. It'll probably still be a little slow. And the last thing is just to get the gesture recognition working. So I have a Raspberry Pi here and this camera that connects to the Raspberry Pi, and I installed some software and it's amazing. So basically the camera can recognize my hand and it draws these points and this kind of like grid around my hand, and it can see how my hand is moving, and it recognizes if I move my hand a certain way, it can predict where my hand's gonna go. It's sick. All that's left to do basically is get this so it's recognizing the gestures and then connect everything together with the motor, and we should be good to go. All right, so to recap, we have the door here that we want to open with the force. We have the string connected to the door up there. That's all connected to this pulley, and all of that is connected to the motor. So when the motor pulls, the door opens. And below that, we have this camera, which is going to be recognizing our hand gestures thanks to this Raspberry Pi, which is running all the software. And then we have this Arduino and driver, which are controlling the motor. Now it is time to channel our inner Jedi.
There he is, blast him!
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out a ton, and it helps me attract sponsors, which allows me to make bigger and better things, which I know you'll love to watch and I will love to build, so thank you. And if you've seen some of my videos over the past year, you know that this video is a little bit different than those, and that's because when I first started on YouTube, I didn't really know what type of style to do. I just knew I wanted to build cool stuff. So I just ended up copying one of my favorite YouTubers, which is Mark Rober. I studied him super closely, and that was great in the beginning when I didn't really know what type of style I wanted to do. But now I feel like the video you saw is more authentic to me. It's more fun, you got the Star Wars bit, you got fun things going on, and you're still building cool things. A lot of what I'm doing is just figuring stuff out because I didn't go to engineering school. I don't have any professional engineering experience. I went to business school, and everything I've learned has just been from YouTube and from talking to people and just figuring it out. So let me know what you think. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to showing you the next video.